What's up, guys? Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils Show, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, even leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. We're here a little bit earlier
What a day to be a devil,
than
baby.
normal.
What a day to be a devil.
Little emergency pod because Arizona State got that guy.
Got him.
5-star quarterback, Jaden
Rashada.
Rashada. We got a ton to get into, even in just these 15, 20 minutes that we're here with you guys, talking about the fact that he was a 5-star. He's gone and bounced around between the 5-star and 4-star rankings. So you're going to see that a couple different times today. You'll see 5-star and you'll see 4-star. I don't know about you, Shawn. I'd like to roll with the 5-star.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. 4-star, 5-star. He's good at football.
He is.
And that's all that really matters here. I mean, the most highly touted recruit of the young Kenny Dillingham era.
Yep.
I keep saying it, but it's a great day to be a devil. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this is fucking, Tim Tebow or the next great college quarterback. Very well could be.
I mean,
but I'm not. That's unimportant right now. To me, this is all about fucking Kenny Dillingham showed up. He said he was going to do something, and we're like, all right. And then he did it, and then he did even better than I expected him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still, this shit just started. The Kenny Dillingham era just got rolling.
hey,
I'm out of breath, man. Whew.
look,
It's a fucking, like I said, great day to be a devil.
kind of ironic that obviously Arizona State is the Sun Devils, right? And on day 66 of Dillingham's tenure, he got the number 6
Who?
overall prospect,
Who?
quarterback prospect. In the 2023 class, I mean, it's just, you can't say enough about what Dillingham has done in terms of recruiting, and Dillingham's going to get all the love. I know Brian Carrington was a big part of this too. Rashad Samples, obviously, all the guys. Rashad Samples tweeted it out this morning, man. Best recruiters in the nation. I'm going to be real with you. We give Dion and that whole Buffs crew a lot of shit, and rightfully so. But what Dion has been able to accomplish in his time versus what Dillingham has been able to accomplish in his time is night and day, right? Because Kenny Dillingham, on top of being the youngest coach, the youngest head football coach in Division I football, his name does not carry the weight of Dion's name.
No,
he can't go into a kid's living room and say, hey, I'm Dion fucking Sanders. Like,
I'm Kenny
Dillingham. I'm Kenny Dillingham. Here's a magic trick. Like, that's like it's different. It's different, right? Like he has to recruit differently than some of these other 100%. High-profile coaches, and it's even more impressive, I think, to see what he's done in 66 days. Right, day 66, obviously being now signing day. It truly is super impressive, and we've talked about getting a guy like Clayton Smith. All that goes out the window. Mm-hmm. All that goes out the window with Jaden Rashada. Just based off the fact that this is a kid that was committed to Florida. I believe at one point he was also verbally committed to Miami.
He was, yeah, that was his initial one.
So between those two, and he had, he went on the recruiting visit to Colorado. TCU was a player at the end. To get this guy, dude, to go get, and it's not like you're going to get a defensive back. Yeah. You're not going to get a starting left tackle. You are getting your quarterback of the future right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the competition for Jaden Rashada and all of the talk about his NIL stuff like that. Like, I would argue there are programs that are in better situations, and there are programs with more money than ASU, obviously, but of the ones that Jaden Rashada was considering, specifically TCU, and then obviously Florida and Miami, like that talks about him getting $13-14 million in NIL deal. I'm going to go out on a limb and say ASU doesn't have that, and he's not getting that here, which says a lot about Kenny Dillingham. We get fucking Vance Joseph talking in the chat. We're good. Y'all can deal with that over in Glendale. We're good in Tempe. But yeah, man, I think it says so much about Kenny and this whole staff that they are able to not just get a player like this here, but get a player like this here in the face of the competition they were facing for him.
Exactly. You look at, and I believe Cal, there was rumor of Cal as well being in play, but you look at, I just want to take a second, and we'll get into more Rashada We've got highlights of Rashada for you guys to look at some point. But like between Colorado and TCU, right? You mentioned the poll, you mentioned the money, and what I say a couple weeks ago, right? We've had this conversation that the whole $14 million issue with Florida and that NIL was a big part of wherever Rashada was going to go. I said weeks ago that I thought Rashada was going to be a Sun Devil. I said on Monday that he was going to be a Sun Devil. And $14 million wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
They didn't need to have that money, right? You look at the three major players here, Arizona State, TCU, Colorado, and then throwing Cal. Cal doesn't really have a whole lot to offer. TCU was just playing in the national championship game. I know they got their ass kicked, but they were playing in the national championship game.
And lost their quarterback, so have a clear vacancy in that position.
Yes, absolutely. You look at Colorado, everything they've done. Dion's taking photos with recruits next to Lamborghinis and Louis bags.
Yeah.
Billy said,
I'm good.
Pick a card, any card.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much like, they're just, I don't know how to put it other than like how impressive getting a guy like this is in the time that you have with the, let's not forget, NCAA investigation. Like, we're still waiting for the whole like outcome of this, regardless of whatever like the implications are down the line. That is still there, right? Mm-hmm. And they're able to go out, get a 4-star, 5-star quarterback in Jaden Rashada, however you want to put it. Like, it's just, you can't say enough about the commitment to the program already in less than 70 days. Yeah. Right? Like, these guys don't sleep, dude.
No. I mean, they've been on go mode. Gang, because it was just too advanced levels, or you know what I'm saying. Yeah, man. I think clearly they had work to do, and when you're in the position of Kenny and this coaching staff, I think it's pretty easy to be like, look, give us a year. We just got here. We need some time to work on this. Man, you said 66 days?
6 days, 66 is today.
They got one of the best quarterbacks in the country to commit. So they hit the ground Naruto sprinting, and it shows. Like, this is purely the product of how hard Kenny and the staff have been working. This doesn't happen without their efforts. It is just such a glowing endorsement of Kenny and the staff. I don't think it can be stressed enough how much praise they deserve for something like this happening. And I mean, it'd be one thing if it was just this, but it's just this in like as a cherry on top of one of the largest recruiting classes in the country. Well, when you include transfers, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Shane getting at something that I trust I've already thought about. Can he not wear the number 5? Guys, I hate to break it to you, but he reminds me a lot of Jaden Daniels.
Which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
No, it is not.
Like, ASU fans obviously have a bad taste in their mouth from everything that went down. But, like, look what Jaden Daniels just did at LSU.
Yeah.
And what he's set to do this upcoming season.
With a real coach. Imagine what Jaden Daniels would do with Kenny Dillingham.
Exactly. Don't, like, I know
already was a Heisman candidate.
You're going to see a quarterback named Jaden wearing the number 5, and it's just going to be tough. But I promise, just let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I mean, but the thing about this though is it's not just another quarterback wearing number 5 because Emory wore number 5. It's another quarterback that is a lot like Jaden Daniels and has a similar body to Jaden Daniels wearing number 5. Like, it's gonna look very, very similar. I think they just look very similar when they play football. So that'll be fun.
Which is fine.
Hopefully this kid is I don't want to say better than Jaden was here. If he's as good as Jaden was last year, that's a Heisman candidate. As like a Heisman conversation, which I'll take. I'll take just being in the same sentence.
All I'm saying is maybe it's a little ironic that the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, retired the same day that the next greatest quarterback of all time just committed to Arizona State.
He said,
"That's
hold
all
this.
I'm saying."
He said, "Hold this, young man."
He literally, word on the streets.
The streets are talking.
They talk. Okay, Tom Brady, his retirement video. Word on the street is he called Jaden Rashada right after and was like, "It's all you. It's all you. It's all you." Let's take a look at the tape. Let's see Jaden Rashada. For those of you unfamiliar with his game, he's obviously the quarterback here. And look at the arm strength of this guy, right? Throwing it all the way, what was that, from the 30?
Yeah.
All the way down to the 15?
Yeah, and I mean, to the point about Jaden Daniels, like I think that was the one thing that we knew he had a pretty deep ball at times. Yeah. And I think you're seeing the same thing with Jaden Rashada here. The one thing I do like a lot about watching his tape is I think the biggest problem with Jaden Daniels, especially prior to the season with LSU, is his decision making. How quick he was to give up on the play, not go through his reads, and just try and take off. Yeah. You don't see that a lot in Rashada's tape. You could tell that he has the athleticism to kind of extend plays, step up in the pocket, move around in the pocket, but he is looking to throw the ball and get the ball to his playmakers, which, hey, ASU is going to have a lot of on offense this year. So I think if you are Elijah Badger, Jalen Conyers, you're watching this tape and you're like, oh,
you're excited.
Hell yeah. I mean, a lot of these throws are just like he's putting it only where his receiver can get it. And I mean, it's high school, but he's playing in Southern California. Like, he's not playing in Idaho. Like, there's talent here, and he's doing good. Like, he looks really impressive.
Yeah, and one thing you look at when you see this tape specifically, right? And this is obviously a longer video if you guys want to go check it out on Huddle. But from everything I've seen right here, right, eyes down the field all the time, which is super, super tough for high school quarterbacks. Obviously, you watch college football, you watch the NFL, they make it look easy. But when you got pressure in your face, whether it is real or simulated, to have a quarterback at this age keep his eyes downfield at all times. And to your point about Jaden Daniels, how he kind of gave up on the play a little early at times, he not only eyes downfield, but he is not moving around the pocket a whole lot. This is a guy that he's going through his read. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the football as soon as his wide receiver is open, or if he could throw him open, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, honestly, watching his film, the arm straight, like, this isn't Josh Allen out here. Like, it's not like he's not throwing this shit 80 yards.
Her first one on the run.
But he can make plays, and he's putting the ball only where his receivers can catch it. And you're seeing some of these plays in the red zone. I just feel like if he is the starter, because he's still going to have to earn it, right? Like, they're going to put the best quarterback out there. If he is a starter, specifically him and Conyers in the red zone, I think is going to be magic. Because you get a guy that big with those kinds of hands. I could see it, him lobbing it up to the corner, and Jalen Conyers going to get it every single time. I just think the magic is there, and you saw, I don't remember if it was in this one or other film that I was watching before the show, but like, just, you know, there's times where he does have to check down, he will, or on screenplays. If you're some of the running backs on this team, like, I just feel like everyone on this offense is going to get a chance to eat. He's not going to make his offensive linemen look bad, but like Jaden Daniels could at times by. It's like the Russell Wilson thing, you know. Sacks are a quarterback stat, and if he's moving all over the pocket, making his lineman's job very difficult, everyone's going to look worse. And based on the film, it is based on a highlight package. You have to take it with a grain of salt. But I don't think he is going to do that. So from head to toe, if you're a part of this offense, I think you have to be super excited by what this could mean for you. It's just, man, it's exciting. And also, like, from the other player's perspective, getting a guy like this is only going to activate the Valley even more, which means more NIL money. It's a rising tide lifts all ships. Yeah. This is good for everybody associated with ASU. And fuck it, defensively, you get another quarterback like this that's a little different than the other quarterbacks. The defense is going to have a chance to get prepared against almost any kind of quarterback they're going to have to face in the country.
Most certainly.
So this is just a great move for everybody, in my opinion.
B's in the chat trying to get us emotional here at 10:25 in the morning. I'm happy the PHNX Sun Devils bros have an exciting product to cover this next season. Congrats to the boys. Y'all deserve this.
I appreciate you.
Hey, man, we're looking forward to it. We're absolutely looking forward to it. Look, guys, we're going to go for a couple more minutes here because there's a lot more shows today, and we're going to be back live with you guys at 2. Shawn, you know what the last 3 quarterbacks for Arizona State that started the season all have in common? That Rashada has over all of the other guys? What's
that?
They all wore number 5. Yeah. Annie Wilkins.
Yeah.
Emory Jones.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, Res Shada. Let's go. Let's go.
There's a graphic
Let's get
somewhere.
Him in Levine,
There's
baby.
A graphic somewhere.
We're taking Rashada out to Levine first chance we get.
My God. Look, this is, and Brad Denny brings up a good point on Twitter, right? That, like, just because you get this guy doesn't necessarily mean that he has got the job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of quarterbacks in this room. You look at Trenton Bourguet, who did some really nice things.
Who just went from starting to probably being fourth on the depth chart. Like, it's a cold world out here.
But look, that's the nature of the game.
No, it is. 100%.
And that's college football right now. You get a guy, you've got Trent Bourget obviously in the locker room. You've got a guy in Jacob Conover who I think, and I'm going to be real, I think Jacob Conover is the wild card here. Yeah. Just simply because there's not a lot of film on this guy.
Nope.
So I'm excited to see what he's able to do in spring ball. I would be very, very surprised if after spring ball, all 4 of these quarterbacks were still on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Because you got Drew Pine, you got Jacob Conover.
Yeah, specifically Drew Pine is a guy who I thought came here and he was the most proven, I guess. Yeah, I'll say the most proven.
He is.
He won at the highest level compared to any of the other quarterbacks. Probably thought he had a pretty good chance of starting. And yeah, I think we'll learn after spring ball where they're at. I think that's a guy who programs are going to want. They're going to want a guy like that. So he, I feel like, has a pretty high chance. Plus, I mean, you look at the other guys. Bourget in his last year, Arizona kid, been here the whole time. The chances that he's going to want to move, unless he's transferring to like where his brother played or something like that, like I don't see that being very likely. And then Conover is still a young guy, and an Arizona kid, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think there's more reason for those guys to stay than there is Pine. But shit, like we said, Rashada's going to have to earn this job. If Drew Pine is the best quarterback in camp, he'll be the starter. So.
Look, even before Rashada got here, Kenny went out and said that Bourget is going to be the one taking the reps with the ones to start, right? He was here.
Yeah.
I do think you bring up an interesting point with Pine because Pine, throughout his career at Notre Dame, like he was never one to shy away from a challenge. But I think at this point in his career, and I know he's still got a lot of eligibility left, but this is a guy that has been waiting in the wings for a long time now, right? Like this is a guy, if I can remember correctly, sat behind Ian Book for a season, the winningest quarterback at Notre Dame. He sat behind, he lost a quarterback competition to Jack Cohn when Cohn transferred from Wisconsin. Tyler Buckner going into this past season for Notre Dame was pretty much their Jaden Rashada, right? The young dual threat quarterback that could really do it all. Buckner won the job, obviously went down. Pine stepped in. Buckner's the future at Notre Dame. Pine transferred out because he didn't want to be number 2 again. Yep. So you come here, and you got a quarterback competition again. What's different about this quarterback competition is instead of having 2 wild cards, you have 4, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what he's capable of. I know he's a competitor. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be good to have all that kind of competition, especially for a young guy in Rashada. I think you see you're getting a guy in Trenton Bourget who lives and breathes this program, has been here for years. You have a guy like Drew Pine who went to one of, if not the most prestigious football programs in the country in Notre Dame. Like, you've got experience. I mean, Chris Cartman literally just tweeted it out. He said, ASU's quarterback room is very deeply talented with a returning starter, a successful Power 5 transfer starter, a former 3-time Arizona high school state champion, and a top 5 national recruit. This competition here, there's a lot of guys who have been successful in different places. What's that?
That's what you want too.
No, exactly. So I feel like it's going to push everyone better. And ultimately, I think the best quarterback will be the starter, and everyone else will have to decide where to go from there. But it is the best problem to have is all of these quarterbacks.
And one thing that Rashada has over these guys, we've talked at length on this show, not this one specifically, but in the past, about how there is what's it called? The comparison with Bo Nix, right? And what Kenny was able to accomplish with Bo Nix. And we all thought that Drew Pine was probably the most athletic or more Bo Nix fit. But what Rashada has over the other 3, and really every quarterback in ASU's room, is he is far more athletic than the other guys there.
Yeah.
So he fits more of that Bo Nix style. And Kenny, Bo Baldwin, these guys love to get creative, right? And they love their run game. We've seen time and again with Kenny Dillingham's offenses just how efficient and effective that run game is. And you get a dual threat guy in Jaden Rashada that can really make you, you have to be honest. You have to play him and you have to play the running back. Like, he's got that advantage.
Yeah, no, I think it is everything that we were looking forward to in Emory Jones last year. You know, how the way he can elevate the running backs and forcing defenses to respect his run game. This really is. It's like it's what we wanted and what we saw from Jaden Daniels' initial early on. I think is kind of where I am going to be measuring Jaden Rashada up against, especially if he does get the starting job. It's there's the talent is there. It's just, is he going to be put in a position to succeed, and is he going to be able to make that transition to the college game, Power 5 college game, smoothly? And if he can, man, I think with what this team is starting to do, is the guy that the country is going to have to take note of. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this guy is going to show up and be a Heisman candidate, although Jaden Daniels was in that conversation before everything went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm trying to be realistic, but at the same time, I think the possibilities here are kind of endless.
But what is realistic at this 100%, point? Because if I told you 60 days ago, after ASU lost the Territorial Cup for the first time in how many years, the interim head coach, it didn't really pan out as the head coach position. You got players leaving.
None of this seemed realistic.
No, that's the thing, right? Is Kenny Dillingham, and this is really an important thing to remember, because the quote unquote what's realistic is expectations of the past, of past programs, of past Sun Devil head coaches and coaching staffs. If I told you 3 weeks ago that it was realistic for Arizona State to go get a former 5-star linebacker from Oklahoma, that probably wouldn't have been the case.
A lot of what they have done. Even getting Ashley Williams to commit from Louisiana without even seeing the campus
wouldn't have told you that's realistic.
That seemed unrealistic. Yeah, so I mean, it is definitely a continuous adjusting of the expectations for sure. And I mean, B's pointed out, like, you're going to need veteran presence in the locker room, because just because you're talented doesn't mean you're automatically prepared to lead. We've seen that with quarterbacks here, but to Diego's point, the QB room is a strength now, and like we just talked about, there's plenty of veteran presence in that quarterback room. And a coaching staff that has clearly been able to elevate, well, I mean, specifically Kenny, that's clearly been able to elevate the play of a quarterback. So it is, I think the quarterback room really is a strength, and the veteran presence that you would need to put Jaden Rashada in a position to succeed, because like we said, success isn't guaranteed, but to put him in his position to succeed, I think you have everything you need now.
Yeah, most definitely.
I wanted to say this. This is just the beginning, because you're telling me that receivers aren't looking and seeing where the quarterbacks are. Look at what happened in Texas. This is obviously not Arch Manning, but look what happened at Texas when Arch Manning committed. He committed, and then all these receivers started showing up wanting to play with him.
Yeah,
we're not getting the top receivers in the country necessarily, because
you don't know.
You do not know.
At this point, any expectation you have, throw it out the window.
Yeah, fair. But I'm just saying, like, this is, if you see a quarterback room like this and you see a young guy with the kind of talent that Jaden Rashada is supposed to have, going to be enticing to quarterbacks, especially if he can produce this year. Come next offseason, come next transfer portal window, receivers are going to take note. And so getting back to what I was saying about this being a rising tide lifting all ships, I think everyone is going to stand to benefit from Jaden Rashada's commitment here.
Yeah, most definitely. Taking a look at Rashada's, let's go over his junior and senior stats for a second here. When he was a junior, he played 11 games on the varsity team. He actually, all 4 years, was varsity.
Yeah, started freshman.
11 games, junior season, threw for over 2,000 yards, completed just 57% of his passes. That was his second lowest completion percentage, but averaged 15.2 yards per completion, 201 yards per game, 27 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 112. And then you look at what he was able to do his senior season, adding 3 more games there, right? Threw for 3,000 yards, completed 62% of his passes, 14.5 yards per completion, 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions with a quarterback rating of 107.3. Improved just about every single stat on that list, which is what you want to see, right? Even at the high school level, you want to see a quarterback, or just really any athlete, you want to see them grow over time, and you want to see them elevate their game. He's done that, right? Like, that's all you can really ask for. And to your point about Jaden Rashada being the future, there is... This conference is crazy with quarterbacks. Yeah, Nate brings it up. Conference of quarterbacks, right? There is a lot of pressure on all of the quarterbacks in this conference, because any given week, you're going to see a Pac-12 quarterback do something crazy. I guarantee it. You've got the reigning Heisman winner. You've got a former 5-star in DJ Uiagalelei. Bo Nix is back, ladies and gentlemen. You got a 5-star at UCLA in Dante Moore. Like, there is Michael Penix Jr. Like, there is a lot of quarterbacks, and whoever ends up being the guy at ASU, whether that be a Drew Pine, whether that be a Trenton Bourguet, a Jaden Rashada, a Jacob Conover, like, just because you get that starting spot, we talk about competition in the spring and the fall, doesn't mean like that it's just over and done.
No, we saw that this year. Obviously, Emory Jones got hurt, but he didn't get that job back. And Andrew just said what I was about to say.
Forgot about that too.
Remember him? Remember Israel Carter? Yeah, he's going to the University of Southern Florida now. Man, how things change.
Wow.
Man, how things change. Who was it? VHF in the chat also pointed out something that I think that the NIL collectives, that like they deserve flowers on this too, because I strongly doubt he's getting the 13, 14 mil or whatever it was that was getting talked about at Miami and Florida, but I doubt he's here for free. I have a strong feeling he's not here for free. And that doesn't happen without Dilly and specifically the collectives. So shout out the Sun Angel Collective, shout out Activate ASU. Like, none of this doesn't happen without y'all either. So I think this really is like a real like Valley effort. I think there's people at all steps of this that deserve some credit for getting Rashada here. It's
most definitely.
Like I said, it's a great day to be a Devil, man.
Jason in the chat watched his dad play at ASU. Man, I'm getting old. Yeah, his dad did play at ASU, and we talked about how that would be a factor. I believe he put that in his post. Right? He wanted to just keep that family tradition going, which, again, that's the leg up, right? That is absolutely the leg up that ASU had. We talked about it with Kenny. It is what it is, man. Like, it's huge to be able to have that, right? You have that over a Dion. You have that over a TCU. You have that over really anybody else in the Pac-12, no matter how much money that they can throw your way, right? So it's absolutely huge. Before we get out of here, if you're new to the PHNX Sun Devils Show, leave a like, a 5-star review. And all I'm saying, we deserve a little flowers on this too, okay? All I'm saying, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you were watching the Territorial Cup postgame show, the day after that show, Kenny Dillingham got hired. If you go back and watch that show, I told y'all 24 hours before it happened that Kenny Dillingham was going to be the next coach at Arizona State. If you've watched this show, I told y'all on Monday that Jaden Rashada was about to be a Sun Devil.
Tostradamus comes through when you need him the most.
It's what we do here. It's what we do here at PHNX, guys. We appreciate you tapping in. We're going to be live again at 2 p.m. this afternoon to continue talking early signing day. You guys are going to get sick of us talking about Jaden Rashada, but there's a lot of love to give to some other signees later on in the day. Shawn, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nah, man, it's a great day to be a Devil. This is just the beginning. And try not to get too romantic about what can happen, but shit, man, TCU is just in the national championship. Anything is possible, and this is the right start to get to where every Sun Devil fan wants to be.
Absolutely.
Which is ultimately a perennial national championship contender, which, sounds unrealistic, but if you were going to do that, what has happened so far is what you would need to do to get there. So it's the right start. There's only reason to be excited.
Absolutely. Emma, is it possible to play that winning music one more time? It's been a minute since we've been able to play this. Look, y'all, it has been a blast this morning chatting ASU National Signing Day with you. Like I said, we'll be back at 2 to do it again. We appreciate y'all. Give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Shane, the man who is in Alabama, at Shane Deef. You can follow Shawn DePaz at Shawn_DePaz.
Fucking activated as always, baby.
It's a great day to be a Sun Devil. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Peace.